Santham Academy. Welcome to Digital Kaksha. To get updates on new videos, click the subscribe button and the bell icon.
Hello students, welcome to the class. Today we will talk about the second story of Lost Spring by Anis Jung. Here in this story, the title is given, I Want to Drive a Car. This title is given because the protagonist of the story is longing to learn how to drive a car. So basically, the story is of Firozabad. Mukesh is the protagonist here, and when the narrator met Mukesh, they had a talk regarding his dream. So Mukesh told to the narrator that he wants to be a motor mechanic. Hearing which, the narrator asked him, "Do you know how to drive a car?" He said, "Actually, I want to learn how to drive a car first." Hearing this, the narrator thought that his dream is like a mirage in the midst of the dusty streets of Firozabad. Actually, Firozabad is the center of glass blowing industry. So here, bangle making is very common. Every second house is involved in doing this business. So people are generally involved in making bangles, and that is glass bangles. The people of Firozabad are involved in bangle making. So here the narrator had encountered once again with poverty. Here he has seen another picture how people are suffering because of poverty. And bangle making, since it is the business of the people living there, how difficult it is for them to manage everything. The people of Firozabad involve their children in this business without knowing that it is illegal to involve children in the business. Around 20,000 children are forced to work in the bangle making industry. Actually, they all are living in the dingy cells. They are forced to work in dingy cells which are without air and light. The light is very dim inside that, and with hot furnaces they are compelled to work there. At this point of time, when it is time for them to play, it is time for them to go to school, they are involved in work. And so this is called the child labor. Still, the people of Firozabad are unaware that it is illegal to involve children to work with them in their family business. Mukesh here proudly announces and tells the narrator to come along with him to see his house which was rebuilt. For him, the renovation of his house was done. Whereas when the narrator reached there, she found the things in a pathetic condition. The things were not very systematic. Both of them entered a half-built house where somebody was in the kitchen preparing food. That was the wife of Mukesh's elder brother. She was working there but covering her face when Mukesh's father appears. Now, that is a custom that in front of the father-in-law, the daughter-in-law is supposed to cover her face. Although it was very hot there, still she was supposed to work in that way. Mukesh's father was also having the same business, which Mukesh's father was thinking to give the same business, to pass it on to the next generation as it was passed on to him. But today, Mukesh at this point of time is not is not ready to take over because he wants to be a motor mechanic. His dreams are something that was not matching with his generation's job. Now here the thing was that every time he was given this opportunity, he had a thought in the mind that I don't want to do this business. Mukesh's father was once a tailor and later on got involved in bangle making. All that he could do was just to build this half-built house. He could not finish it. And he tried his level best to teach his children, and what he could teach was how to make bangles. Because that was what he had, the art that he had, he could teach that to his children. Whereas the children could not get an opportunity to go to school as they were having the responsibility of shouldering the family business. And they were all be forced to work in the hot furnaces. Mukesh's father discussed the same thing with Anis Jung, telling that, and in such a childhood days, when at early age these children are working in the furnaces at high temperature and in dim light, actually by the time they become adult, it becomes difficult for them to have proper eyesight. They start losing the vision. So by the time they become adult, they are grown up person, they start losing their eyesight. Hearing this, Anis Jung felt very bad because they have no other option than to work in these hot furnaces. And here it filled her heart, it broke her heart, and because of that she thought of writing about this. Here the narrator talks about how this particular lineage, the old lineage, is still continuing. And the small children, boys and girls, are sitting in the dark room and trying to weld the glass bangles, making them round and converting them into beautiful bangles. But behind those beautiful bangles, the labor, the sacrifice of the people are greater than its costs, because they are sold at cheaper rates, whereas the sacrifice of the people behind that is far more than comparison. It cannot be compared to anything, because these children are giving up everything that they had, and mostly when they are working for long hours in the dark, their eyes are more adjusted to dark than the light, and somewhere they end up losing their eyesight. Here narrator found a girl named Savita who was in the pink dress, sitting beside elderly women, helping them making the bangle. The narrator had a thought. Does she know the sanctity of the bangle? Does she know what she is making? What is the value of that bangle? But here the thing was that soon she'll come to know how important are these bangles for a married woman. One wonders how Mukesh's father have achieved all this when others are still struggling. Actually, the cry of shortage of money can be heard from every house at Firozabad. People are living in really a pathetic condition. Now, they don't have enough of money to feed themselves. There, the narrator learned that these people never had a filled stomach a night. Nothing has changed over the years. Years of hardships have killed their hopes and dreams. Now these people are left with no dreams, but the only one task that they are supposed to do is to make bangles. And these bangles are not very costly, but the labor behind it is actually the sacrifice of people. But the value that they get, the cost that they get is far lesser than their sacrifice. The narrator finds two distinct worlds at Firozabad. First kind of people are the group of people who are getting exploited. And so that's a big group that the people are getting exploited. Whereas the other group belongs to Sahukar, middleman and all those people who are exploiting them. So both the groups are found here in this particular place called Firozabad. To do something else would mean to dare, but to dare means to take a risk, whereas they had already set up a family business in which they can involve themselves. So here, amidst that, when the narrator found that Mukesh has a dream to become a motor mechanic, so she was happy that at least his dream is still alive. The narrator asks Mukesh, "Why do you want to drive only cars? Don't you dream to fly an aeroplane?" He said, "Very few aeroplanes fly over my house, whereas I love to see many cars. So I want to be a motor mechanic, and I know that a motor mechanic come across a variety of cars." So here his dream is ending. Actually, children, the story is talking about Lost Spring, that in both the stories the childhood is killed. Whereas the people are involved, these children are involved in child labor. Either they are working like Sahib in a tea stall or somewhere, or rag picking they are involved in, or the children are working as Mukesh, who is having a dream of becoming something but cannot do that because of the old lineage that is followed from generation to generation. When one generation is passing one of the businesses to the other one, it is the responsibility of the next generation to follow it, to shoulder it, and that's how even today many children are killing their dreams because they are unable to fulfill. So when we are having the dreams, let us try our best to fulfill them. At the same time, if we can contribute to help someone make his dream come true, we must do it. I hope the stories would bring little change in your thoughts and your thinking pattern, and whenever you will come across such people, I'm sure that you would also like to contribute to bring happiness in their life. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like, share and subscribe for more.